Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff, out here with several of our leadership members from the Harris County Sheriff's Office. This evening at approximately 6:20 p.m., the Harris County Sheriff's Office District 3 deputies began receiving numerous calls for service at this location. The calls seem to range from someone potentially breaking into vehicles to also breaking windows of different apartment units. So deputies were dispatched to the location. They arrived minutes later, and upon arrival, they were able to locate an individual that possibly matched the description. They began making numerous verbal commands. It appeared that the male was holding some type of sharp object in on his person, in his hand. The male did not listen to any of the commands and began running. At that point, the deputies began a brief foot pursuit through the complex, trying to safely detain the male so they could make sure that everybody was safe. It was still light out here and there were people around the complex, so just wanted to make sure they were keeping other members of the public safe. At some point, the male stopped. The verbal commands continued to no avail. At some point, we believe that the male began moving towards the deputies at some point, at which time both deputies discharged their weapons. A couple shots were fired at the male, striking the male, and the male went down. At that point, the deputies began attempting life-saving measures, possibly applying tourniquets, beginning CPR until EMS personnel arrived on scene. The male was transported to a hospital, and it's my understanding that he was pronounced deceased a short while ago. What we have right now is that the two deputies have been out in the field ranging anywhere from 6 months to a year after graduating from our academy. And so we're also tending to them. No reported injuries to either of them, and no reported injuries to any other members of the public out here. There's no further threat to the community at this point. There will be a lengthy investigation that will consist of multiple different investigations from the district attorney's office that's arrived here on scene. We're conducting an internal investigation as a standard protocol with our internal affairs. They're out here as well as the homicide division that's out here as well that will conduct a criminal investigation. There'll be a lengthy investigation after this, and the deputies will also be placed in administrative leave as well. That's not punitive, it's just a standard protocol for us. And so that's the information that we have right now. Just a preliminary look at the scene, we do see evidence of shattered glass from at least one apartment, and we also have identified several witnesses that are out here that may have seen what transpired. We also ask the public, if anyone else saw something out here that is no longer on the scene, please reach out to us. We'd like to be able to get additional information. We want to make sure we have a full picture of this. I always like to just say the disclaimer that all this is preliminary until we're able to get into the investigation. We're just trying to give you the very basics of what we have before homicide and the others could get into a more detailed investigation. Briefly in Spanish, esta noche llegamos aquí, recibimos una llamada aproximadamente a las 6:20 p.m., varias llamadas a este complejo de apartamentos donde estaban reportando que un individuo, hombre hispano, estaba rompiendo ventanas y que tal vez estaba tratando de dañar vehículos también. Entonces llegaron los oficiales aquí. Al llegar identificaron, encontraron a un hombre hispano. En aquel entonces le dieron órdenes que levantara sus manos, que parecía que tenía algo en sus manos, algo picudo, no sabemos exactamente qué era. Comenzó a huir, le dieron seguimiento, después él paró y les siguieron dando más órdenes que tirara lo que tenía en sus manos, y parece ser que el hombre comenzó a moverse hacia los oficiales, y entonces es cuando ellos dispararon su arma, lo hirieron. El hombre trataron de hacer diferentes maneras, CPR, para tratar de darle auxilio al hombre, hasta que llegaron la ambulancia. Fue trasladado a un hospital donde fue pronunciado muerto ahí en el hospital. Entonces vamos a hacer una investigación con varias partes, tanto como nuestra agencia, con la fiscalía también, y para estar seguro que los oficiales siguieron las reglas de la organización, una investigación interna y también una investigación criminal. Entonces eso va a ser parte de nuestra investigación. Y es lo que tenemos en este momento. And just a couple more things, just standard protocol with any fatal officer-involved shooting. We will release the body-worn camera within approximately 45 days as well. And the deceased individual is described as Hispanic male, possibly late 20s, early 30s. His identity still hasn't been confirmed. The date is just an approximate age. Any questions?
So he died at the hospital?
Correct, yes. They attempted life-saving measures. EMS arrived, continued life-saving measures all the way into the hospital, and upon arrival at the hospital, soon after, he was pronounced deceased.
Sheriff, could you describe that object that he had? Would you call it a weapon, or what would you
Yeah, it appears it was some type of sharp object. I don't know if it was some sharp glass from that he had picked up, possibly a knife or something. Again, that's preliminary. I can't confirm that because I haven't been in the actual scene where we're trying to preserve the integrity of the scene. So I don't know, other than just the information I'm receiving is that he reportedly had some type of sharp object in his hand. Verbal commands were given several times, just asking to ordering him to throw that down because it could be a threat to our deputies or someone else, and he refused to do it. So that'll be part of our investigation to determine what it was. If it,
Can you clarify who called in? Was it a tenant or just a passerby?
We don't know who exactly called, other than we received numerous calls for service around the same time reporting a similar incident. And so we believe there were multiple callers here from the apartment complex, I would assume, that they were calling it at multiple times right after 6:20 p.m. approximately.
How many windows?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe he was the only person here?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do we believe that he was the only person here? Was he here alone?
We don't know if who he was here, what he was doing, or what he was intending to, other than it appeared he was causing damage to apartment. He had shattered some windows, and we don't know if he was trying to make entry, if he did make entry, or also damaging vehicles. So we don't know what he was attempting to do or commit at the time, other than he was causing damage to property and possibly breaking and entering into I don't know if he physically made it in or had just broken windows, but windows to apartment units are shattered, consistent with the information we're receiving so far. We'll canvass the apartment for additional witnesses. That's all part of the follow-up scene investigation.
So you would just call this a disturbance? It wasn't a domestic situation?
It does not appear to be a domestic disturbance. It was called in as some type of disturbance going on. Again, we don't know if there was another party that he had a conflict with and things just went bad, or what his goal or intentions were out here, other than when they arrived, they identified him and saw him, and there was damage to some property and apartment units, but we don't know. It dropped as a disturbance type call.
And how many units had their windows shattered?
We're not sure yet. For sure one, and then I don't know if there were others. It appeared that there were at least more than one. I don't know, Chief, if you have from at least one. We haven't had a chance to really canvass it. Everybody's making the scene here so that they could work their parallel investigations. So we'll be out here, for sure a few hours. Our crime scene investigators are out here as well.
What's the status of the deputies involved?
They're just being tended to just make sure they're okay. They're obviously shaken, from it's always a traumatic incident for anybody involved in this. And so, they'll be placed on administrative leave as is part of our standard protocol.
And
Yeah.
both deputies fired?
Yes, it's our understanding both fired, correct.
¿Alguna otra persona resultó herida?
Solamente tenemos información que la persona que los oficiales le dispararon al individuo fue el único que recibió heridas.
Any knowledge of the suspect lived in this area or not?
No, we don't have any identifiers. The only thing was just a Hispanic male between possibly mid 20s to maybe early 30s maybe, but that's just an estimate. We don't know. And, obviously, again, this is traumatic for everybody. I'm sure he had a family or something. Our condolences go out to family members as well. And he was given every opportunity to comply, and this could have, ended a lot differently. But, it's a tough situation for everybody involved. And so we'll conduct a thorough investigation and just make sure we try to get as many answers as we can.
And I'm sorry, Sheriff, I couldn't hear because of the traffic.
Mhm.
Did you say 2 officers?
Yes, correct. Two deputies discharged their weapons.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all.